Alright, I'm going to be cutting down this long section of drywall here, and traditionally drywall installers will use a utility knife and a straight edge of some kind, like a drywall T-square. But because this length is so long, it's really impractical, it's really difficult to get that line straight. And I found that this tool here, called the DL Ripper, is one of the very best and easiest tools that you can use to rip a panel of drywall down the long length. So I'm going to demonstrate for you. So I'm going to be needing to cut off 11 3/4 inches. I'm just going to check my notes here. 11 1/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set that length. So it has this really handy guide here. 11 1/4, right there. I'm going to set it, and then I'm going to lock it, okay? And then I'm going to set it on to the top of the panel of the drywall like so, and there's a direction here. There's actually only one direction that you're supposed to set this so that it cuts correctly. And then now, I'm going to run down the length of the panel, and you kind of have to charge at it just a little bit. And you have to keep the top straight so that your line below is as clear as possible. Okay, so I've made that cut, and what that cutter is doing is cutting a line in the paper on both sides. And then all I have to do now is snap it, and I have a perfectly clean line in my drywall. So I'm going to set this aside here. And then next I need to cut the drywall kind of down the side on the shorter length. So I'm going to refer to my notes here. I always write things on the wall after I measure them. So I need that panel to be 84 inches. And I know that a full panel of drywall is 8 feet long, which is 96 inches. So that means I have to cut off 12 inches, exactly 1 foot from this side. So how do I do that? To do that, I'm going to take a drywall T-square and a utility knife. And I'll tell you what I'm using today. I'm using a knife by a Japanese company called Olfa. And a lot of people say that these are some of the best quality knives that you can get on the market because these Japanese-made blades are extremely sharp, and they stay extremely sharp after you've used them many times. So I'm going to use that to cut through the drywall paper here. And then, as for my T-square, I'm going to be using this adjustable T-square by Swanson. And the beauty of this is, let's say if you've already cut down your drywall, you can adjust it so that it squares with whatever part that you've already cut. So let's say in this case here, now the line is completely square. So I'm going to be cutting off 1 foot. Oh. There we go. Just need to get that secure. Off exactly 1 foot. Okay, line my edge up with the mark there. So here, I'm going to trace a line just gently in the beginning. I'm not going to dig too hard into the paper. And doing that allows me to keep the line as straight as possible. there's a tendency for your blade to want to skate off of your line, and that just happened right now. And then when I get to the bottom, to the 3/4 mark, I cut up this way so that I can always keep my blade at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, so that should be enough to snap this panel here. And you're always going to snap it towards the back. So in this case, I'm going to give it a little bit of a think this way. Okay, so I have a pretty clean line, pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to get behind the panel, take my knife again here, and cut from the back. There you go. And so what commonly happens after you've cut drywall is you're going to have an edge that's kind of rough. And in some cases you can leave it as it is. The drywallers typically use what's called a rasp to smooth out that edge, just so that everything fits really nicely. So I have a rasp here. It's from an excellent Japanese tool company called Tajima, and this drywall rasp has one face that's for rough rasping or rough smoothing of the drywall panel, and one that's for kind of more fine smoothing. So I like to use the fine side whenever I can because it's already fairly smooth, as you can see. And what you do is you just kind of like rub it against the edge. Kind of makes a mess, but it's okay. And it shaves off kind of any of the rough excess. You really don't need to do much, as you can see. It's already really smooth. So there we go. So I've now cut a panel that's the exact length that I need to drywall this remaining framing. This is actually a pocket door that, it's a pocket door frame for this pocket door here that goes into this bathroom, as you can see. So we're going to be covering this up so that we can then apply compound and then sand it down and then paint our primer and then our final coat of paint on top.